Just another lie perpetuated by Blackrock and Vanguard on an unsuspecting population. Sponsored by, of course, by the retirement planning researchers who get funding from Blackrock and Vanguard. You ever heard of automatic enrollment? That's a new thing in financial planning vernacular. We got to get people to automatically enroll into their 401ks and 403bs and TSPs and whatnot. Because if they don't, they're not going to enroll in it and they'll be less off a retirement plan. Sounds good. And they got numbers that say when we force people to automatically enroll, their retirement accounts grow. Yeah, that's true. That's one side of the balance sheet. And we're going to look at the other side of the balance sheet. So who gets paid when there's more money in investments? Oh, BlackRock and Vanguard. Do they have an incentive then to encourage more people to enroll in their 401ks when they're the two biggest providers of 401k plans? I imagine State Street on top of it. Of course they do, because they get paid more. Interesting. So now we have some evidence here. My man Andrew Biggs has sent this to me, and he did not say any of this, what I'm saying about BlackRock and Vanguard. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but it's very interesting. Borrowing to save. The impact of automatic enrollment on debt. And this is by a couple of 4 people from Harvard. 4, wow. And then one guy from the USMA, the U.S. Military Academy, the West Point. The abstract. It's so... I've been hearing for years that automatic enrollment are the way to get people to enroll more. And again, what automatic enrollment is, you start a new company, you go in there, and before you have to take an affirmative action. I want to enroll in the 401k. That was just, you can enroll whenever you want. And by default, they're not going to enroll, right? Because they felt that you know better than the company. Then we've had these studies that say, no, man, we got to increase automatic. We got to basically force people to automatically enroll so they have more in their retirement accounts. People say, yeah, it makes sense. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as always, economics has always a law of unintended consequence. And what could possibly go wrong is that we have higher debt, which I can prove to you right here. And we have a declining in net worth. But net worth isn't what Vanguard and BlackRock or State Street care about. They just care about assets, investable assets. They don't care about total net worth. In fact, if anything, you say they're even, colluding with the banks because the banks want you to take on more debt. Anyway, so it used to have to be, you'd have to voluntarily. I have to go in there, take affirmative action to enroll my 401k. Now they're going to do it automatically, and they're pushing us like crazy. So you have to take negative action to stop the automatic enrollment. And people just don't do that by and large. They say, okay, I'll automatically enroll. But anyway, check this out. How much of the retirement savings induced by automatic enrollment is offset by increased borrowing outside the retirement savings plan? 4 years after hire, automatic enrollment causes no significant change in debt, excluding auto loans and first mortgages. They're not even using home equity lines, what's called second mortgage, or even a third mortgage. They're using first mortgages and auto loans. Automatic enrollment does significantly increase auto loan, like car balances, auto loans. Auto loan balances by 2% of income and forced mortgages balances by 7.4% of income. These secured liabilities have muted immediate effects on net worth because they're used to acquire assets, but their increase could signal that automatic enrollment previously decreased non-TSP assets. Larger secure loans could also have decreasing long-run net worth depreciation. Why? Because you're borrowing to secure a bigger car, which is a depreciating asset. You lose 60% of the value in the first 5 years. And so what they say is, at the end of the day, many people are doing automatic enrollments feel more wealthy because they have money in their TSP. They're using, how many people are using here? They're using 35,000, right here. They're comparing 32,000 new hires in the for the TSP Thrift Savings Plan in the U.S. Army, not soldiers, but Army civilians. So they're comparing one sample size as 32,073 employees hired in the year prior to automatic enrollment, then 26,803 employees hired in the year after automatic enrollment. Consistent with prior evidence, we find that automatic enrollment does increase the TSP, the 401ks. It has a modest positive effect on contributions to TSP. After 4 years of tenure, automatic enrollment increases cumulative employer plus employee contributions by 5.8% of first-year salary. Okay. However, to assess the automatic enrollment's impact on net worth, we examine 3 different measures of debt. All right. And our third measure, and again, they're not even using home equity lines. They're just using first mortgages and auto loans. We add right here. Our first, homes depreciate more slowly than vehicles on average, and may even have expected appreciation. Well, I think your home is going to have appreciation. I don't think anyone would argue that, but they do say 6% of houses do have a depreciation. That's not much. Our results paint a nuanced picture of automatic enrollment's effects. We find no significant evidence that automatic enrollment increases debt, excluding first mortgages and auto loans. On the other hand, automatic enrollment does significantly increase automobile debt by 2%, as we already talked about. The treatment effect on debt, excluding mortgages, is significantly smaller than the treatment effect on TSP contributions. So by this measure, automatic enrollment still has a positive impact. However, what happens? The automobile debt and the first mortgages combined lead to a detrimental effect on your total net worth. Automatic enrollment increases mortgage balance. This is the first mortgage, automatic equity lines, by 7.4%. And as at 4 years of tenure, this total debt increased by 10.2% over first year salary, which is where your 401k only increased by 5.8%. It's not good, man. Let's keep going here because it's just this freaking irresponsible that these companies are pushing this crap. And they're pushing to gather more assets they can charge and make more money on. The banks love it too because they're taking on more debt. To get a more comprehensive picture on how automatic enrollment affects household net worth, we already talked about the three measures of debt, which is not debt doesn't include your home equity line. It's just your freaking auto loans, your mortgages, and unsecured debt. And they say durable how they're going to calculate this, the change in durable asset plus a change in financial assets equals a change in secured debt. Secured, again, is your home loans backed by your deed of trust, and then your auto loan backed by a lien on your title. As automatically enrolled household might purchase a more valuable, durable, i.e. car, even a house, because it feels wealthier due to its increased TSP balances. Extra TSP balances can also ease financing constraints since they can be assessed through a TSP loan or used to pay to increase the down payment, enabling the household to get an even larger secured mortgage. Taking out a larger secured loan has potential implications for future net worth, you think? Of course it does. Of course it does. Let's see here. You talk about the growth rate of a car is highly negative for vehicles. The average new car loses about 60% of its value the first year of life. So essentially, if you're borrowing more because you feel wealthier, you can always borrow against your TSP to pay it off, you're going to have a much bigger depreciating asset. A debt-financed purchase of a more expensive car is likely to result in future net worth erosion. But a debt-financed purchase of a more expensive home has ambiguous effects. I don't know if I agree with that. I'd say it has actually positive effects by and large, but still. Let's see. Secured loans can increase net worth through a forced savings. Yeah, right, 100%. You have to pay your amortization. This channel is unlikely to be very effective when the asset depreciates, though, i.e. a vehicle loan. So little equity is accumulated over the course of the loan, 100%. So you're not likely to make more money or have an increase in net worth if you're borrowing because of your loan. Because you have an auto loan that's depreciating in value. It's stupid, and that's what we're doing. Again, conclusion. Automatic enrollment in the TSP is extremely successful at increasing contributions in the TSP. At 4 years, months of tenure, this policy raises cumulative contributions by about 5.8% of the first year salary on average. However, we also estimate that automatic enrollment raises auto and first mortgage debt at 3 to 4 years of tenure. Taking on secured debt, such as an auto loan to purchase an asset, does not immediately affect your net worth, but it does. But the fact that secured debt balances increase might signal the automatic enrollment caused liquid assets outside the TSP to be spent down on top of your overall net worth declining because you have a depreciating asset. But Vanguard, Blackrock, and the banks and all these guys would have you believe automatic enrollment is the way to financial success. This whole thing's so stupid. All right. God bless. Love your thoughts. Thank Andrew Biggs for sending this to me. And if I'm not putting words in Andrew Biggs. He's not saying anything I'm saying. He probably loves Vanguard and Blackrock, State Street. I can't stand any of them, that's for sure. But here I am. Here I am, Lord. It is I, Pablo. With his stinky guts.